It's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. Thousands are feared dead, and Lower Manhattan is plunged into chaos after two American passenger jetliners struck the World Trade Center towers in what remains the deadliest terror attack in the history of the United States. American Airlines Flight 11 has just departed Boston International Airport en route for Los Angeles International Airport and is currently cruising at 26,000 feet. Operating the flight is 14-year-old Boeing 767-223ER registered N334AA with a Boeing manufacturer serial number of 22332 and line number 169. On board are 82 passengers and 11 crew members. Crew on board consisted of 50-year-old Captain John Ogonowski, who occupied the left seat. His co-pilot is 42-year-old First Officer Thomas McGinnis Jr., a former Navy fighter pilot. Cabin crew included Purser Karen Martin and flight attendants Barbara Aristide, Jeffrey Coleman, Sarah Lowe, Kathleen Nicosia, Bessie Ong, Jean Roger, Diane Snyder and Amy Sweeney. Amongst the 82 passengers are 5 hijackers and members of the al-Qaeda terrorist group: Muhammad Atta, Abdulaziz al-Omari, Walid al-Siri, Wa'il al-Siri, and Satam al-Suqami. All 5 hijackers are seated in first class.
American 11, turn 20 degrees right.
Right, American 11.
This was the last transmission from American 11, as at 8:15 am, the 3 hijackers, Muhammad Atta, who was the pilot, Omari and Satam, stormed the cockpit and stabbed both pilots. Before his demise, Captain Ogonowski managed to turn on the aircraft's radio system, enabling the air traffic control to listen to the hijackers without them knowing. The 2 remaining hijackers stabbed flight attendants Karen Martin and Barbara Aristide, as well as passenger Daniel Lewin, who tried to intervene in an attempt to stop the hijacking. At 8:17:59, flight controllers at Boston Center heard a brief unknown sound on the radio frequency used by Flight 11 and other nearby flights. They did not know where the sound came from, and they couldn't be certain, but it possibly sounded like a scream. They then attempted to contact Flight 11 multiple times, but there was no reply. At 8:19, flight attendant Bessie Ong manages to make a phone call to American Airlines headquarters and informed them of the hijacking. 5 minutes later, Muhammad Atta tries to address the passengers, but he accidentally sends the message over the ATC.
Is that American 11 trying to call?
Buddy, we have some planes. Just stay quiet and you'll be okay. We're heading to the airport.
And who's trying to call me here? American 11, are you trying to call?
Nobody move. Everything will be okay. If you try to make any move, you'll injure yourself and the airplane. Let's stay quiet. That's good. I see you referencing for the move.
Boston Center then notified NORAD, North American Aerospace Defense Command, which placed 2 F-15s on standby at Cape Cod Guard Air Force Base in Falmouth, Massachusetts. At 8:37, United Airlines Flight 175 spots American 11 10 miles ahead of it and informs Boston Center of its position. United 175 was the second aircraft that was deliberately crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Just like American 11, United 175 also departed from Boston Logan International Airport, right behind American 11 en route to Los Angeles. Flight 175 is being operated by an 18-year-old Boeing 767-222 registered as N612UA. On board are 56 passengers and 9 crew members. Chief pilot seated on the left is Captain Victor Saraceni, aged 51. He has been with United Airlines for over 16 years and accumulated well over 10,000 flying hours, majority of which are recorded on the Boeing 767. His co-pilot is 38-year-old First Officer Michael Horrocks. He has been with United Airlines for just 5 years and previously served as a flight instructor for the United States Marine Corps. The other 7 crew members were flight attendants Robert Fangman, Amy Jarrett, Catherine Labore, Alfred Marchand, Amy King, Michael Tarot, and Alicia Titus. Amongst the 56 passengers are 5 al-Qaeda hijackers, led by Mirwan al-Sehi, Muhammad al-Siri, Fayez Bani Ahmed, and brothers Hazma and Ahmed al-Khamdi. Sehi obtained a commercial pilot license while training in South Florida, along with American Airlines Flight 11 hijacker Muhammad Atta and Flight 93 hijacker Zayed Jarrah. After acquiring information on American 11's location from United 175, which hasn't been hijacked yet, Boston Center then requests US Air 583 to perform a visual observation of American 11 and report its approximate altitude.
583 Boston.
583, go ahead.
I want you to look out your right side, maybe you're 3 o'clock at about 10 miles. We got an American 767 we're lost contact with, and I want to know if you can tell me if he's around roughly 29,000 feet there.
Okay, we're not showing anybody on the TCAS. Just a second, we're looking over there. We can't spot him yet. How many miles off to the 3 o'clock position?
He's about 7 miles right now, and he's heading southbound. You said 583, can you see it?
583, we still don't have it yet, sir. We're looking.
At 8:41 AM, United 175 informs New York Air Traffic Control of an unusual and alarming radio call they heard from American 11. Moments later, Boston Center instructs 175 to turn right by 30 degrees and gets handed over to New York Center. This was the last transmission from United 175, as at 8:43, lead hijacker pilots Mirwan al-Sehi and Fayez Bani Ahmed storm the cockpit and kill both pilots using a 2-piece snap utility knife, while the other 3 hijackers move all the passengers to the back of the plane. Meanwhile, at 8:44, American 11 begins a rapid descent into New York City with an estimated descent rate of 10,000 feet per minute. 2 F-15s are scrambled from Otis Air National Guard Base, but neither have any idea of American 11's location, which at 8:46 is flying dangerously low over Manhattan, heading directly for the North Tower. American 11 crashes into the North Tower at a speed of 406 knots between the 93rd and 99th floor at 8:47. Air traffic controllers at New York Center did not realize that United 175 had also been hijacked, and that its transponder code had been changed, as the controllers were busy trying to locate Flight 11. It isn't until 8:51 that the control realizes Flight 175's transponded code has changed and attempts to make contact with the crew. Fearing Flight 175 has been hijacked as well, the New York controller starts contacting other centers. At 8:57, United 175 makes a sharp turn towards New York City while rapidly descending at a rate of 15,000 feet per minute. At the back of the plane, passengers and crew are attempting to make contact with their loved ones. One of them is Brian Sweeney, a 38-year-old business consultant who attempts to contact his wife at 8:59, but the call goes to voicemail.
Jules, this is Brian. Listen, on an airplane that's been hijacked. Things will go well. I'm looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So absolutely fine. Same to my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you and you're away together. Hi, babe. I'll call you.
At 9 AM, New York Center and New Terminal Approach use a secondary radar to locate United 175. Moments later, they spot an aircraft descending through 10,000 feet at an alarming rate, directly towards Manhattan Central. United's 175 crashes into the South Tower at 9:03 AM at a speed of 512 knots, striking through floors 77 and 83, killing all 65 on board and an undisclosed member of deaths in the South Tower. 43 minutes after Flight 175 crashed, the Federal Aviation Authority ordered a complete shutdown of United States airspace. American 11 caused the deaths of 1,402 people near the impact zone in the North Tower. A total of 2,800 people were killed on that day, including firefighters, policemen, and civilians. United 175 struck the South Tower at a tilted angle to the left, which left one of the tower stairwells intact and usable, allowing people to escape the burning floors. However, only 18 above floor 77 survived, as many of them tried to get to the roof in hopes of being rescued by helicopters, but the thick smoke and intense heat prevented rescue helicopters from landing. Over 900 people died in the South Tower. The South Tower was the first to collapse after burning for 56 minutes at 9:50, followed by the North Tower 30 minutes later after burning for 1 hour and 42 minutes. Rescue workers at the World Trade Center site began to discover body fragments from Flight 11 victims within days of the attack. Some workers found bodies strapped to airplane seats and discovered the body of a flight attendant with her hands bound, suggesting the hijackers might have used plastic handcuffs. Cockpit voice recorders and flight data recorders of both American 11 and United 175 were never found, but somehow Satam al-Siqami's passport, who was seated in the cockpit along Mohammed Atta, survived American 11's explosion and fell to the ground below, soaked in jet fuel, without a single scratch or burn mark. It was later picked up by a passerby and handed over to the police. In May 2013, a piece of inboard flap mechanism was found lodged between two buildings. It was the only identified debris from United 175. In 2002, the first recipients of the annual Madeleine Amy Sweeney Award for Civilian Bravery were Sweeney and Ong. Ogonowski also received a posthumous award. At the National September 11 Memorial, the names of the 87 victims of Flight 11 are inscribed in the North Pool, on panels N1 and N2, and panels N74 and N76. The names of the victims of Flight 175 are inscribed at the National September 11 Memorial and Museum.